Welcome, English 1101 friends. This is a short video guide through the syllabus for our spring 2025 English 1101 class. If you go here, you jump into D2L and you click on syllabus, it should open up for you, should jump you over here to the simple syllabus format. And I'm going to go through very briefly the syllabus in this simple syllabus format for our course. And then I'm going to go through, in case there's any additional information, you will see here there is a additional course information guidelines. I'm going to go through anything extra that's on that as well. So here's the simple syllabus for this course. This is English 1101, W10, English Composition 1, our CRN, should you need that. You should already be registered, so you probably won't need this, but 21385. This is spring 2025 full session. That means we go January through early May, 3-hour credit course, entirely at a distance. Although I'm on the Cartersville campus, and if you need to meet with me in person sometime, I'm happy to meet with you on the Cartersville campus, and I can try to make arrangements to be somewhere else on a different campus. But I'll never expect you to be anywhere in person, obviously. The course description is on here. This is a composition course focusing on skills required for effective writing in a variety of contexts with emphasis on exposition, analysis, and argumentation. The big key there is that exposition, analysis, and argumentation, because we're going to write 7 papers in this course. They range in length from 500 to 1,000 words, but they're going to follow that basic format. The first 2 or 3 are exposition papers, a definition, a narrative, and then we're going to get into analysis with a film analysis of a documentary that we're going to watch. And then the last 2 papers will be argumentation. There's an argumentative paper and a persuasion paper. So that's the basic overall structure for the course, is that exposition, analysis, and argumentation. This also includes introductory use of a variety of research skills. We're going to write 1 narrative research paper. It'll be the 3rd paper that we write. So this is just a gentle, small introduction to research and research skills and citation, in-text citation, works cited. Please read the assigned work thoroughly before the assigned date for each class. That's because the readings enhance your reading comprehension, and then they do another, and critical thinking skills, and then they do another thing. They serve as models for the kinds of writing you'll be asked to do. So like, for example, our first paper is a definition paper. There's a couple of things I'm gonna ask you to read. They're models for like the kind of defining and writing that you should be doing. Communications here, I may communicate with you via D2L announcement and or GHC Outlook email. If I need to tell you something, post a link to a meeting or something like that, it'll be posted in D2L announcement. Often when I ask you to turn work in, or if you need to communicate with me, I'll ask you to email it to me at my jsullins@highlands.edu email address. That is up here at the top of most of the other pieces of information here. If you click on the syllabus and the schedule, you'll see those. Please, I encourage you to use your Highlands email to contact me and to turn work in. And when I turn work back to you, that's where I'm going to send it to you, just because there's very little, almost zero chance that it'll be caught up in the college's spam filter. If you use outside email addresses, there's about a 25% chance that it'll get caught in the spam filter. I also do not use D2L email. It's just not user friendly to me because of the way it makes you pop up multiple screens. Please don't email me in D2L email. If you do, I will try to respond to you, but I am pleading with you not to use it. Also, if you submit work to me via email, please send it as an attachment. Don't share documents with me, and please send it to me in docx if you know what that is. Please no PDFs or anything like that, especially. Assignment guidelines. This is just basic stuff. Assignments type, because we're going to be turning work in electronically. 12-point standard font. All papers need a title, your name, and when you turn work into me and I open it up, when I open your attachment, I'd like to see your name and the date and the assignment, definition paper, research paper, film analysis paper. That should be followed by the title of the paper. All formal papers require an assignment specific title, and again, it shouldn't be paper 2 or research paper. It needs to be unique and specific to the assignment that you're turning in. As we go through the semester, you should feel free to ask any writing related question that you want to. To me, there is no, please don't keep yourself from asking a question because you're afraid it will sound obvious or stupid or unsophisticated. There's almost no such thing. And so you should feel okay if there's anything I can do. If you need to meet with me about rough drafts of your paper or first paragraphs or anything like that, please let me know and we will set that up through Microsoft Teams. Please do not film, record, or photograph me or the class or anything associated with it. All of the recordings will be available to you, but please don't reproduce or generate or re-record anything. Plagiarism is academic dishonesty. This is a writing course, so there is a temptation, and in my experience, I deal with more plagiarism, and the English and writing professors deal with more plagiarism than the other professors. But I just want to go through a couple of sentences here. To avoid plagiarism, you must cite all quotations, summaries, and paraphrases. Often students don't know this, but when you're quoting things, when you're summarizing things, or when you're paraphrasing things and putting them on your own words, if you are taking something from some other source, somebody or something else, some other source, even if you're putting it in your own words, plagiarism cares about ideas. So you need to cite and credit whatever your source is, sentence by sentence, piece of information by information. Even if it's in your own words, even if you're summarizing something, the ideas came from that other source and you need to credit that source or it's technically plagiarism. You must be careful to put paraphrases and summaries in your own words. I deal with some case or case, sometimes it's one case or sometimes it's 10 cases a semester. And I know because we don't see each other face to face, this feels less personal, and so there may be more temptation to borrow things or not be as careful summarizing. But I do check. Please be careful in terms of plagiarism. Related to that is the use and abuse of AI and large language models that generate text. They can be useful for producing very basic routine content, but if you rely on those tools, it doesn't fully demonstrate the kinds of skills and thinking that this class is trying to assess. And so I reserve the right to request revisions, resubmissions, or it says oral defense, but to ask you a few questions about if you are the one who wrote or generated the content that you are turning in. The use of generative AI is permitted in this course for some very basic tasks like brainstorming and brainstorming papers and refining research questions and theses and outlines. But it is not permitted in this course for impersonating yourself as the person who created a piece of writing, completing group work that your group has been assigned, writing a draft of a writing assignment. If you turn in something that has your name on it, you need to have generated it or created it, not AI. And I reserve the right to question you about that, to ask you questions about any particular piece of writing that I'm going to give you a grade for. Or writing entire sentences, paragraphs, or papers. Well, there's the obvious, this last bullet point. There's a grade breakdown that's on here. As I said, we're going to write 7 essays in this class that range in length from 500 to 1,000 words. Those will be 7 essays, 70%, they're 10% apiece. And then there is a batch of other work that we're going to do, some exams and some workshop responses to each other's writing. Those will add up to 30%. So you got roughly 2/3 for the papers and the last third for the other small, more informal pieces of writing that we're going to do. If you want to email me, when you need to email me, my email address is jsullins@highlands.edu. My office is A320B in Cartersville. Again, should you feel the need to come visit with me, I'm happy to do that, but I'll never require you to. Here's my office hours. It's best to email me if you want to be in touch with me. The course learning objectives for the university system that apply to the university system are listed here. You can go through those. They're more they're more for the college. They're as much for the college as for us, as well as the core impacts like critical thinking and information literacy and persuasion. You see that broken down right there. Class attendance does not apply in this course in the traditional sense, obviously, because we're not going to be meeting in a classroom. However, I do check D2L for reading and viewing completion. I'll jump in there and be sure that people have looked at, like, for example, I'll be sure people have looked at this video or looked at the syllabus link and those kinds of things. I do check that. And so especially in the first few weeks, to guarantee that you're not dropped from the class, you'll need to be sure that you're viewing the content. When we have assigned readings, you need to be sure you jump in and view those. The grade breakdown, in case you're not familiar with the college's grade breakdown, is listed right here, the 10-point scale. And then it's broken down specific to this course. Papers are graded holistically. That is, I grade each paper overall for following the particular assignment guidelines that I gave you some instructions and that you followed them, as well as for form, like there's a title and the paper is organized into paragraphs and that there's a thesis in the first paragraph. And then there's content that you wrote something that has some content to it, that you made an argument or that there's clearly developed points and ideas in the earlier papers. And then basic writing skills, grammar, punctuation, sentence structure, those basic things like run-on sentences, sentence fragments, that you know how to punctuate sentences. We will spend a little time talking about some few parts, some few pieces of grammar and punctuation, but this is college and I expect you to have those basic skills too. The due dates for the assignments are listed in the course schedule and in D2L. So there's a schedule here, and then there's another link to the course schedule back over here in D2L, right here where it says schedule of readings and assignments. It's the first thing in here. That said, we're pretty flexible, or I am pretty flexible with due dates in this course. And that is because this is an online course, we will have usually a 24-hour window, somewhere around a 24-hour window when assignments are due. Like if this course is organized around Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so if it says exam 1 is due on Thursday the 16th, well, that probably means around noon on Thursday to around noon on Friday. So you've got a window of time. If you work during the day, well, you can do it at night. If you work at night, you can get up, do it in the morning. There's going to be a window of time for you to work on and complete assignments. Nothing's going to be due at 10 o'clock, and if you're 5 minutes late, I'm just not going to accept it or anything along those lines. We're just not going to do that. But there will be a window of due dateness for each assignment. We will start, and then my office hours, I'm available via Teams, especially in the mornings between 10 and 11. I have 2 small kids. One of them goes to school. One of them is too little to go to school because he is 8 months old. And so I have to sort of work around their schedule. And for me, that means when my little girl is at school, I've got a window of time. And then after my wife gets home from work, I've got a window of time late in the afternoon. And then I've got the assignment schedule here. There will be a separate video that will guide you through the assignment schedule, so I'm not going to do that right here. But I want to get through this. First day of class is the 13th, which is Monday the 13th, last day of class. Last day of finals is May 13th. And then sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, I'll have to have our final grades turned in May 15th, something along those lines. The drop add deadline for this class is January 17th. So if you watch this video and decide this isn't for you, that's the last day to add or drop classes. Attendance verification is January 27th. For us, attendance verification, as I said, that's going to mean that I jump in D2L. Be sure you have watched at least our basic information videos, looked at the syllabus, looked at the schedule, those kinds of things. We have MLK holiday, but as I said, I've organized this to roughly be a Tuesday, Thursday class, and one reason is so that we don't have to worry about MLK holiday interrupting us. And then we've got that spring break week that starts March 31st. And then there's a long list of learner resources. I'm going to jump over here to this additional course information in case there's anything that I have missed over here. I'm going to try to go through it here. A lot of this is the same information as I've already mentioned. The USG core learning goals, those kinds of things. If you need a disability accommodations, you should get in touch with Student Support Services and work through them. That will be what's easiest and most convenient. You can coordinate with them, and then they will come to me and let me know what's needed. You can also just straight be in touch with me, and I'm happy to work with you. Student Services, though, is how you get it formally approved and generated. They'll generate a form for me. There's the federal financial aid information if you need that. We have gone through all of these guidelines, a lot of this information, and some of this is not relevant because we're not in a face-to-face class, like you're not going to be using hardware in class. There is no textbook or text for this class. All of the readings, assignments, information is linked in D2L, and each week I will guide you or remind you. I will check in with you at least once every week to let you know what we're doing that week, to let you know what's due, to let you know where to find the information that you need. You should feel free to check in with me and email me anytime you have questions, but I will be jumping in with you at least once a week to answer any questions that you might have. We will do some kind of library orientation in this class, even if it's just a librarian dropping a video into D2L for us. We'll do that around the time of the research paper, when the research paper is due. And all of the rest of this is duplicated information from the Simple Syllabus website. That should get you through the basics of the syllabus for this course. As I said, though, if there's anything I can do, if you're unclear or uncertain about anything, please don't hesitate to email me, jsullins@highlands.edu, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. My goal for this semester is for all of y'all to succeed in this class, to get whatever grade you want, to learn any and all the things that you want to learn about writing. One thing I like to tell students is English 1101 and 1102, a lot of people treat them as this, it's required but not desired class. But it is one much more positive way to think about it is that this is one of the last moments in your life that someone will be trying to help you, aggressively trying to help you get better at writing, at communication. This may be the last few months or year where there is somebody that you can go to anytime and say, hey, I have a question about writing. Hey, can you help me get better at writing? That's what I'm here for, is to help you and to help you get what you want out of this course and out of your writing. One of the things this class is trying to do is, often people have an idea in their mind of what they want to communicate, what they want to write, what they want to say. On a simple level, this class is just trying to close the gap between what you're trying to say and what you actually say on the paper or the screen or wherever you're writing it. So we're just trying to close that gap between what you meant to say and what you actually said. We're trying to close that gap and match those up. Again, if I can do anything to help you or answer any questions, please don't hesitate to be in touch. I look forward to reading all of your writing this semester, helping you succeed in this course and at Highlands. So welcome to English 1101 for spring of 2025.